Mr. B XRP here, and welcome back. Have some great stuff to share with you guys today. I want to talk about how XRP holders have to zoom out. I want to talk with you a little bit about how financial advisors are about to get slaughtered, and what a $1 million Bitcoin might be or might mean, and it's not all good news. And someone in the crypto community is very lucky, to say the least, and I'm going to tell you a little bit about that. So let's just jump right into it. The internet's back up and running. Boy, it was down this morning. I think it was Cloudflare was down, and a lot of these sites were down, but we're good. We're up and running here. You got Fiat Leak is back up. XRP is back up to 224 on Fiat Leak, and we're moving in the right direction, which is good stuff. So let's see where we're at. We're number 11, extreme fear. So we were yesterday at 14. We're now at 11, which is worse. And that's because Bitcoin had dropped under 90,000. But Bitcoin is currently at 93,350. And Ethereum's at 3,147. Tether's holding comfortably at $1. And XRP's at $2.22 on Coin Paprika. You know, I've said this before. If you've never heard me say it, 222 on Coin Paprika. It's at 224 on Fiat Leak, and I'm going to be interested to see if it moves to 224 on Coin Paprika, and I'll let you guys know tomorrow if it did it. Usually Fiat Leak it shows you what's going to happen, because Fiat Leak is fiat moving into crypto. Specifically, that's XRP. But I'm gonna keep an eye on that because it's usually right. All right, so let's start with zooming out, right? So look, XRP people need to zoom out, and this was posted on Twitter by this gentleman, and he shows the chart of XRP compared to BTC compared to gold, right? And the red chart is XRP, which is obviously smoking everything else. And if we go back to Coin Paprika and do the return rates, you just hit return rates on Coin Paprika. Look. Bitcoin's down nearly 0.5%, Ethereum's down 0.02%, and XRP year to date is up 101%, and BNB, Binance Coin, is up 50%. So XRP is smoking everything in the top 10 for sure. Tron's up 44% as well. So you got to zoom out sometimes. So don't let these, don't let the market downturn get you. It's not, look, it's just a temporary thing. I had shown this video in my first, I had shown this video of Simon McLaughlin in my first video, and I'm not going to show the whole video again. I'm just going to let him say one thing because I want to share something with you. I think it's very important.
We started from baby boomers and Gen X to Gen Z and Gen Alpha. $80 trillion of wealth is going to be transferred to digital native generations.
So $80 trillion is going to transfer from the baby boomers to the younger generations, right? And this was a story on CNBC, and it was June of this year. And this is really, I'm not shocked to see this, but financial advisors, if you're listening to the sound of my voice, you need to wake up. And look, if you're listening to the sound of my voice, you're crypto native, so you've already woken up in that sense. Tell your friends, right? 81%, a new survey shows 81% of the next generation millionaires are set to inherit, or those set to inherit large wealth from their families plan to replace their parents' wealth management firms. Look, financial advisors are about to get fired, okay? Because the crypto native people want to do their own investing, whether it's in crypto or not. So look, financial advisors need to get into crypto. They need to learn crypto. And hopefully with the new, with ETFs, they're starting to learn. But I've been to crypto conferences, or I've been to financial conferences, non-crypto conferences, and they're clueless. So here's what I would say. If you're a financial advisor, you know a financial advisor. I built 2 training programs. I have a retail edition and an advisor edition. It's called Blockchain Bootcamp. You can access it at cryptocoachnick.com, cryptocoachnick.com. And I built one for retail folks that want to invest or learn about digital assets. It's not a trading program. It's learning the basics of what digital assets are and what they mean. And I also built one specifically for financial advisors. And so if you know a financial advisor that needs to learn about digital assets, tell them about my program at cryptocoachnick.com. Also, if you have a friend or family member that needs to learn about digital assets, it's time for them to learn and you're tired of teaching them, send them to cryptocoachnick.com. And also, I have a 25% discount if you use the code XRP589. So let's help save our financial advisors that we want to save and that want to learn, at least get the basics, so that they can talk to their customers or their investors intelligently. Okay, Dave Portnoy.
Now, am I eligible?
Dave Portnoy in the news. Let's listen to what Dave just did last night with the crypto market on the downturn.
For this, because here comes the announcement. Last night, Monday, November 17th, if you want to look at what I did, here it is. I hope I'm not giving away nothing. I probably am, so I probably shouldn't show. 638 bought $500,000 of XRP. 637 bought 400,000 of ETH. 637 bought 750,000 of BTC. 636 bought 500 more or a reverse of XRP. So in total, last night, $1 million of XRP, 400 ETH, 750 of BTC. Blood in the streets. Dave's like a piranha. Dave's like a great white. He's just shark on fins. Oh, you know what? Let's do it. And I know we can't clip it. We can't play music. So it's too bad. This will.
Okay, I'm going to drop out because he's probably going to play something that's copywritten. Anyway, Dave Portnoy came in and made some big investments last night, including $1 million in XRP. He had sold off his XRP position. I don't know if he sold off his whole position, but he had sold a monster position, I think when it hit 80 cents, and he was kicking himself for doing it. So he's trying to make up for it. All right, this was from the Digital Asset Investor. And he said, here's one of their managing partners. I think I'll pass on investing on this one. And this gentleman was wearing a shirt when people were all the XRP haters were rejoicing when Ripple was in the lawsuit with the SEC. And he was wearing a t-shirt that said XRP the security instead of XRP the standard. Meanwhile, his company just came out with is coming out right now with an XRP ETF. Let's all have good long memories like the Digital Asset Investor.
Right, give us an overview of this generic listing standard for crypto ETFs. And when could we see a Solana ETF?
Generic listing standards, they are likely coming about a month away. The basic rule is if you want to launch a fund, the principal component of which is a digital asset or any type of commodity that has had a contract listed on a CFTC regulated designated contract market, you can launch now without the 19B4 rule proposal from the exchange. So it'll allow you just to take a registration statement and go live without this 240-day dance with the Division of Trading and Markets. I expect it to go live within the next 6 weeks, and that would open up the window, which starts on September 16th and ends on October 10th for a Solana ETF launch and likely an XRP launch a month or two after, just because they haven't been on a DCM for quite as long.
So Multicoin Capital sounds like they're going to be launching an XRP ETF. Up to you whether or not you ever want to buy one of those or buy another one. We have a long memory here in the XRP community, and thank you to the Digital Asset Investor for reminding us. So look, anytime the wind blows in the digital asset world, they drag out Tom Lee, and they dragged out Tom Lee again. Let's hear it.
I think the good news is there are signs of exhaustion. I did speak with Tom DeMark of DeMark Analytics, and he thinks there are signs that would look like a bottom that could be occurring sometime this week.
Matt, do you agree with Tom here?
I actually do exactly agree with Tom. I think we're nearing a bottom. I look at this as a great buying opportunity for long-term investors. Bitcoin was the first thing to turn over before this broader market pullback. It was sort of the canary in the coal mine, signaling that there was some risk in all sorts of risk on assets. I think it'll be the first thing to bottom, and I agree with Tom. We're getting very close to that point. So I think it's an exciting opportunity, again, for people who are looking out a year or more into the future.
So this was last night, right? And let's just hope that last night when Bitcoin, I think, bottomed out at 89,000, that they were calling it and it already happened. We don't need it to go any further. So this is Mike Novogratz, and he talks about why a $1 million Bitcoin in a short period of time might not be good. Give this a listen.
Crypto is a report card on how the country's doing, the stewardship of the country. And crypto prices going higher have broadly been, you guys are debasing the currency, and therefore we want somewhere to store our money. If we go from 100,000 to 1 million in the next 5 months, something really bad happened. And when shit really bad happens, people lose their lives, people lose their livelihoods. Crypto is a...
Yeah, and I don't necessarily disagree with what he's saying. I don't see it going to $1 million that fast, but I don't disagree with where he's going with that. All right, so this is, once again, Charles Hoskinson is just making the rounds. And I want you to hear what he had to say, and then I want to talk about this a little bit.
Everybody entered, myself included, 2025 thinking that the Trump administration was going to be this magic net positive for the ecosystem, because it's literally, the U.S. government has become a bag holder. You know, it's like, that's the biggest economy in the world, and it's gone from trying to kill crypto to embracing crypto. But sometimes by having the big guy hug you, they hug too hard, and they love too much, and it kind of crushes your ribs. Kind of like Lum from Goonies. So what we're having to contend with is the U.S. government, in a very hand-fisted way, has been, in some cases, a little unhelpful to the industry. So it created an irrational exuberance, and it interfered with our normal 4-year cycle that we have. And we're trying to sort all that stuff out.
I think if you balance it out, the new administration has been a huge net positive for the digital asset community. I really respect Charles Hoskinson. He's a triple smart guy. But I think, look, Charles dodged the biggest bullet when Ripple got sued by the SEC, because you had to believe Charles was next. And he really dodged a bullet. He didn't have to go spend $200 million defending himself like Ripple did. So I do wish Charles the best. I've met Charles. In fact, you know what? In my private group, I have a private group. It's MrBXRP.com. If you want to join my private group, I have a story that I tell about meeting Charles Hoskinson and how that meeting cost me a Florida beachfront condo. And if you want to see the story, come join my group at MrBXRP.com. The cost is the cost of a cup of coffee. It's $6 a month. But what you get is you get additional content that you don't get on my YouTube channel. You get commercial-free videos. And let's see what else I've got here. I wrote down some things here. And also, look, if I ever get put in the penalty box here, like some of the other content providers have, you'll always be able to get my videos right there. So if you want some additional content, check out Mr. BXRP. And that's it for this one, guys. I'm not a financial advisor. This video is for entertainment, educational purposes only. If you haven't subscribed and you've listened to multiple videos of mine and you still haven't subscribed, what are you waiting for? You know why, right? Because you're officially my people and you need to subscribe now. Always do your own research. See you next time. Bye-bye.